Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Elizabeth Press, founder of D3M Labs, and I am here with Leo Nekhymchuk, who is CEO and co-founder of Data. And we're going to talk today about large language models and how they are changing the face of data operations and how data teams are structured and working together. So, Leo, thank you very much for joining me. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? You've had a very interesting and varied career. Could you tell me a bit about your path to becoming a tech executive and the different roles that you've had before founding Data?
Of course. Hi, Elizabeth, and thank you very much for having me on this conversation. A little bit about me. I've been working with the data for last 20 plus years. I graduated as a developer and started my career working on different projects and products, but very quickly I moved into a beautiful world of data. So I joined a project where people were building a data warehouse for a big company, distributing company. I didn't know back then what data warehouse even means. So it was very interesting to me to, you know, get into this world. And since then, I've been preliminarily working on data related projects, everything related to data integration, data management, data science, you name it.
Okay, great. Thank you. And as we're on the subject of data integration, what inspired you about the field of data integration, and how did you choose that to be the focus of the company you founded, Data?
Yeah, first of all, I would say many people that I met in my professional life, they may think that data integration is boring. I always find it fascinating and interesting. It always intrigued me what is in the data and what kind of conclusions you can make, whether it's a big Excel file or a huge data warehouse or a data lake. But there are several issues still that are unsolved in the data integration, data management world. And through my entire career, I've been trying to find a solution, and unfortunately, I failed. So we started a company to actually address those problems ourselves.
Okay, great. Thank you. And as we're talking about large language models, could you define what they are for those in our audience who might not know?
Yeah, of course. Large language models are a specific architecture of neural networks called transformers, and there is a specific type of transformers with self-attention mechanism, and the large language models basically rely on this architecture, and they process a lot of data in parallel. That's why they're called large language models.
And where do you think these large language models will have the largest impact on data operations?
Oh, great question. There are many areas where large language models can do a lot of disruption, if you will, in the world of data. So number one, I would say it's not just data world, but it's very applicable. It's a code generation, right? All kinds of Copilot. For example, I know a lot of companies are using LLMs to actually generate pieces of ETL code, pieces of data pipelines based on metadata definitions. So anything related to code generation is applicable to data integration world. LLMs, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, are really good in understanding the data, both semantically and even the whole taxonomy. And that, if you think about it, leads to so many opportunities to use them for data discovery, automated data, metadata definition, all the way to automating creation of certain pipelines. Data quality is another thing that potentially quality and observability that potentially can be very suitable for LLMs, and even data analysis and data visualization, things like upload your CSV file to GPT and start asking questions, and it will produce you potentially very interesting results.
Okay, great. Thanks. So I'm going to ask you really bluntly the question that's on a lot of people's minds. Will large language models kill jobs in data?
That's a very, very good question. So I am a strong believer that every technology revolution or technology evolution doesn't kill jobs. It creates more jobs, actually. But it's important to note here that those jobs potentially will be different. So the promise of new technology to actually make certain things easier and automate certain things will not lead to the stop of the evolution in the data world. It's like an analogy I can give you is when you automate reporting for people in any organization, and I've done it many times in my career. The second they have their reports automated, they start asking new questions about the data, right? So they're like, before, for example, it took a week to produce 10 reports, and 2 people were really busy with that. But if someone automates this and they have those reports day 1 or on Tuesday, they looked at them and they're like, oh, okay, we have so much time until Friday where we typically got the report. So let's ask questions about the data. Let's actually analyze and let's figure out new reports. So what I'm trying to say is that any automation, any disruption will create more demand for more things, for more insights. If people will get their simple data tasks done quicker, they will have more time to generate more ideas and more things. So, sorry, it's a kind of long answer to your question, but I don't believe that LLMs will kill jobs in the data world. Just the number of new companies that are trying to do things differently in the data world using LLM tells me that there will be so many open positions for so many people at so many different levels that no, I think it's going to be the opposite, actually.
Okay, well, that's really optimistic. Because I have to tell you, a lot of people are pinging me on LinkedIn because they're having hard times getting junior data analyst or junior data engineer positions. yeah, it's a bit of a slump now for data. So people are getting worried that, with this new innovation, okay,
Just
junior
just
jobs are over.
just a quick advice. It's actually a very good point. So if you're looking for a junior position and you're afraid that LLM will remove all those positions, get proficient with LLM. Understand how it works. Understand how can you do things 100 times faster, and you will be hired in a heartbeat. Because in many organizations, people still don't know what LLMs are and how they can actually be applied to certain things. So I see a big gap between adoption of the LLM in big enterprises because they're slow, they're conservative, there are a lot of things to take into consideration. But uh, I believe that all the young professionals should be very, very proficient and understand how to prompt LLM to get the desired result.
Okay, great. Thanks. I think it's a really good advice. I was talking the other day to a lawyer who actually said that she became very proficient in LLMs. As a mid-career person, using different skills. So I think it's going to be exciting, the different skill sets that are coming into data as well. So then just to close this, Leo, could you tell us some secrets to your success?
First of all, I don't think I'm hugely successful, but I just probably found something I really like, which is data and everything related to data. Um, there's no secret sauce, really. I think to be nice to people, to be helpful, and to keep yourself passionate about the topic are three things that can lead to success in any industry.
Okay, thank you. And how could people get in touch with you after they watch this video?
Oh, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to chat.
Okay, thank you. And goodbye, everyone. And thank you very much for this wonderful discussion.
Thank you, Elizabeth.